Hello everyone, I hope you are all doing well. So I'm back with a virtual tour video after long. So today we are going to explore the city, the town of Bergamo, which is situated here. So we are in the northern part of Italy. The region is the Lombardy, the region of Milan, and the town of Bergamo is here. It's a really nice town. It's not very known, but still it's really nice. Many people I went with led many groups of tourists there from France, and they were all very surprised of this city. It's nice, it's cute, it's it's not too big, not too small. There are a lot of very nice monuments, and it is divided into two parts. So you have the Bergamo Bassa, so the lowest part of the city of Bergamo, which is the most modern part, and then you have Bergamo Alta. You see here it's written Città Alta, which means high city, literally. But yes, this is the more historical part, and that's one of the nicest part of the city, I think. And it's nice because even before arriving to the town of Bergamo from the motorway you will already see the highest part of the town on the hill, up on the hill, because it's situated actually over not only one hill but over 7 hills, so it's really nice. The town of Bergamo is also called the town of the thousands, Città di Mille, because many of the people that went together with Giuseppe Garibaldi in the Risorgimento against the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies for the unity of Italy that happened in 1861. Many of these people came from here, and there were about 1,000 people, and many came from here, so that's why it's called like that. And the name Bergamo is really particular. It doesn't sound very Italian in a way, it sounds more German. Even nowadays there have been many hypotheses about the origin of the name of this town. It probably comes from Bergamum, which sounds very Latin actually, and there was actually a town center already during the Roman time, and even before that for sure anyways. But also Berg, even today, Bergen in German means mountain, thus as well, so in ancient German as well. So you have two parts of the word Bergamo. You have Berg and Heim. Berg means precisely that, mountain or even castle in ancient German. Heim means home. So location probably helped with that, because you can see that there are some hills in this area. You see it here, it's really flat, whereas here you can start to see some hills already. And Heim as home, so meaning that it was really for sure home of a pretty big group of people. And the position is really it has always been a really strategic position for sure, because you can see, well, this is the plain area. Here you can start to see some hills, but then here we really have the mountains. Mountains that you have here are already the Alps. This part of the Alps are called Orobie, because there was an very ancient population called Orobi who lived in this area. So of course it has always been a really strategical position here, because of course from the top of the hills it was for sure possible to control the surroundings here. And even today, I'm gonna show you during the video, there are some really nice points from which you have a really super nice view. But if you think, in the past, it was really for sure very useful to protect the city and the inhabitants against any enemies in the area. And then of course the mountains, as always, have for sure played the game of protection in a way for the city itself. So a very nice thing that has been done for the city of Bergamo, and also for the city of Brescia, town of Brescia, which is located not too far from Bergamo. It's located here. Okay, so they're not too far away one from each other. They've been named the capital city of Italian culture this year. Why this? Because especially these two towns have been particularly hit by the COVID pandemic. So there's been a lot of people who died, especially in this area. So to improve in a way, to help a bit the economy, the Italian government decided to do that, which is actually something really good. The problem is that Bergamo is a relatively small town, it's not that big. What happened is that especially this year, because of this thing, it became so popular that if you go on a weekend, it will really be so busy, especially the città. So I would really recommend you not going on a weekends if possible at all. And the easiest way to reach the older town is taking the funicular, this one here. So there is this really nice funicular cableway way, which dates back to the end of the 19th century, so it has a bit of history as well. I'm gonna show you where you can grab it here. It's not even that expensive, to be honest, and it's really nice, and it's a nice ride. It's like 5 minutes, but if you come here, so this is the entrance, there are 2 cabins that go up and down continuously, and if you go on a weekend this area here will be full of people all lined up to go to the funicular. So yes, especially on the weekend. So each cabin can transport up to 50 people, which is not too bad actually. It's nice because it goes up and you can have a really nice view of the town. This is a bit up, so unfortunately I'm not able to show you the whole thing, but here, if you can see here, there is a little bridge here, so this is where the funicular goes up, and it goes up pretty much. The elevation gain is of 85 meters and the max gradient of 52%, so it goes pretty high, but it's really safe, don't worry. I've took it so many times this year. And this is a little bit of the view that you can have from the funicular. Yes, so you see it goes up pretty much, and it's really nice because you can really start to see the surrounding, the most modern part of Bergamo, and also the surroundings here. This, by the way, is on the ancient walls, Venetian walls. If you take the funicular, you will arrive in this little square here, Piazza Mercato delle Scarpe, shoes market. It's really nice. It's a really nice small square, so you really start to understand the vibe of the town. It's really nice. Honestly, it's really one of my favorite towns. I personally visited it many years ago, and then I restarted visiting it, well, for work, but still visiting it last year. And this year I was there so many times. I was really surprised myself because I didn't remember this town being so nice, and it's really nice. You can have all these historical buildings a bit everywhere. I think they did a lot of restoration works in the last 10-ish years, I think. Why this square is called Mercato delle Scarpe? Well, because of course there was the shoes market here in the past, so it's really nice. The building itself, from which you will come out from the funicular, it's really nice, and it's pretty historical as well. So this building dates back to the 14th century. Of course, it has been restored and modified then in the later centuries, and this square itself, it's really one of the most ancient of Bergamo itself. And yes, one little thing I wanted to show you here is this thing here, polentone, polenta takeaway. So polenta is really something really typical from north of Italy, especially, I mean, not only from Bergamo, even from my area, Venice, in Piemonte as well. So in general in the north of Italy, it's really typical for winter, to be honest, but it's really yummy. It's really good. And then another thing I wanted to show you on a little patisserie here is the typical cake that you will find a bit everywhere in Bergamo. Here there is a big one. You see, it has the color of the polenta. Well, I start saying that polenta can be yellow or white. I know the yellow one is more famous, more known. It can also be white. Well, this is a dessert. Actually, it is called polenta e osei, which is very dialectal way to call it. So this part is all sweet, really. So this part is yellow because it imitates the color of the polenta. And then here you have some tiny little birds made of chocolate, because osei, it means birds. So yes, you can have the small ones, the big ones. It's really yummy. And what we're going to do from here is going on along this little tiny road here, if it lets me go. Here, voila. So going through this little road here, we are going to go to the castle. You see here there is a Via alla Rocca. Via means road in Italian. Alla Rocca because you can reach the castle. Sorry, I have to do this because Google Street View is a bit playing it funny here, but you will arrive from this. This is the road where we were before, okay? So just to give you some orientation there. And then you can climb up here. It goes up a little bit, not too much, so it's not too heavy. So yes, Bergamo has Rocca, so a castle. It does have a castle actually. You can see a little tower here already. And as a castle, it has some walls. The majority of the walls that you'll see in the city were done by the Venetian. The Republic of Venice was really powerful, and yes, it arrived also here and it stayed here for a bit. They built some walls. Also, to build those walls, they had to destroy so many churches because otherwise there was not going to be any place for those. Okay, so from here we can go up on this little nice sort of staircase. This tower was probably the one which was built during the Republic of Venice, whereas the majority of the structure of this castle of the Rocca here was built in the 14th century. It is located over a hill. You can see it's on a hill, the hill of Santa Eufemia, and later on, together with the castle that was made later by the family Visconti, very powerful family from Milan originally, which was located on another hill of Bergamo, Colle San Giovanni. Basically, the town was really completely protected by walls and by castles. Here there is also, well, on this side there is a really nice view on the surrounding. So this is one side of a really nice view that you can have from the castle of the surroundings. It's really nice. These mountains that you can see up there are the so-called Alpi Orobie, so the Alps that are located not too far from the one of Bergamo. And here you can see this really nice park here. It is called Parco delle Rimembranze. There are a lot of weapons and things that were used during the two world wars, First World War and Second World War. One of the biggest one is this big tank here, and there are also some gravestones of soldiers and people who died during the two world wars, but it's really nice because you can have a really nice wall all around this, and yes, it's really nice. And then you can walk all over to the other side where you can really start to see the historical part of Bergamo. So you can see some towers already there. Really nice walk, this one. It's really worth the view. And here you can start already to see some towers. Okay, so this is a bell tower of a church, the Church of San Pancrazio. This is Torre so-called del Gombito. This is the Torre Civica. There is a clock as well, and this one it should be the dome of the Duomo of Bergamo, and then you can see all the nice houses of Bergamo, so it's really nice. You can have a really nice view here. Also in the surroundings you can see some other hills there, and you can really see how big the town is and how it was really built on these 7 hills really. And then from here you can continue to walk and you will go down on the other side. So this is where you end up. You see, this is the big round tower that we found when we started to visit Rocca. There is a nice museum, by the way, inside the Rocca, of course, and then you have this gate and you can descend from where we arrived, basically. Voila. And then here we can go down here. Go down. This is the bell tower of the Church of San Pancrazio that we were seeing from the gardens of the Rocca, basically. And the Church of San Pancrazio is actually pretty old as well. We don't see the church here, but it seems that the first part of the church was built already in the 9th century, 9 really, so really old. Then we can go down from here. You see, it's really nice, and of course here you start to have some more modern houses, but some of them were really actually built over or where there were more ancient houses or ancient buildings. So it's really nice. You have often these little tiny roads where you can basically just walk. But it's nice. I think it's a town that is very well kept, so to speak, and it's nice. There are also a lot of nice restaurants, cafe in the town center. Not a lot here, of course, but yes, this is another nice square, historical square as well. Actually, this was called actually the Piazza del Mercato del Fieno, so the square of the hay market. And there are also some historical buildings here, especially these ones here. Yes, these ones, maybe we can see them better from the other side. No, these ones here, which you see, they have really the form of a tower. So actually these date back to the Middle Ages, and these structures like this were called case torri, casa, house, torri, towers. So they were really a bit of both of them, so they could be used as a defense structure in a way, but also a place where people could actually live. So there are a few of the structures also in other towns of San Gimignano. There are a few. It's like the city of the towers, the Manhattan of Middle Ages, so it is called. And you see here we can reach the main town center. Basically, you can already start to see how many people there are. So you can see some cars here. This is also always a bit of a question, to be honest, and it's not something that I particularly like. But so this area, it should be not it's complicated, not a pedestrian area, but a limited traffic area, if you want to translate it. Basically, I'm not sure how it works precisely, but it should mean that most of the people can drive here. I wouldn't honestly want to drive there because, you know, the roads are not really wide, so it's not very easy to drive, to be honest. But these are very likely people either living there or having activities, I don't know, restaurants, cafes, shops, etc. And there are a lot of them here. Of course, if there are couriers, people who have to deliver things, emergency, of course, that's for sure. But yes, it's kind of a bit annoying because especially you see when there is quite a lot of people walking here, then you have all of a sudden a car arriving. It's not great, to be honest, but it is what it is. Anyways, this is another tower. We can't see it on the top, unfortunately, but this is the Torre del Gombito. It is one of the highest towers of Bergamo. It's about 50 meters high. I'm not sure if you can still do it, but it was possible to go inside the tower and reach the top of the tower, from which of course you can have a really amazing, nice view of the town and of the surroundings as well. And now you can see the eye here. It means usually when you have this in Italy, it means that there is an information point, a tourist information point, which is located on the ground floor. And the name of the tower comes from the Latin word compitum, probably, which means crossing, because that means that maybe this tower was located on the crossing here and here of two important Roman roads, the Carto and the Decumano. Possibly, that's an hypothesis. This tower was built in the 12th century. If you want to reach the top, there are over 260 steps to reach it, and it has been property of many different families, actually. This is one of the towers that you can find in Bergamo. Unfortunately, there aren't that many nowadays, but in the past there were about 30 towers in Bergamo. And now we are going to see a very nice thing which is not really known, to be honest, but is this structure here. This is an ancient wash house which was used, it has been used for many years actually. The structure is really nice from a sculptural point of view, if you'd like. This part is made of marble of Zandobbio. Zandobbio is a little town located not too far from Bergamo, from which it is extracted a very good, very nice white marble, as you can see, and it has been used actually for different buildings in the town of Bergamo. Whereas the cover here, it's made in a Liberty style. The structure was done in the 19th century and that has been used till the 20th century. Nowadays it's really nice just to hang out here. There are some benches here, so it's really nice. It's a really quiet area, and then here you also have some ancient buildings here. In case you need, there are toilets here, public toilets, 50 cents I think, but they're really proper, really good. And I'm not going to do it now because Google Street View doesn't allow me doing, but to go to the main square of Bergamo, I'd recommend you going through this little road here, but it's a nice little court and courtyard, and it's nice, and you can reach the main square, which is located here, Piazza Vecchia. It's like the old square, basically, this one. There you go. So you will come out from this arch here, you will arrive in front of this cafe here. There are a few on the square, and this is a very nice main square, Piazza Vecchia. Okay, so the Piazza Vecchia has been for centuries the main area for meetings and for civil and political life of the city of Bergamo. It is also situated on the spot on the area where there was the ancient Roman Forum. We have many different buildings in many different styles of many different periods all around the square. As you can see, most of the buildings here were built starting from the 11th century, but we are going to start from this one, which is probably maybe one of the most recent buildings that you have on the square. This building here is a library. I know, it is an actual library. It's amazing, really. It is the main library of Bergamo. The building itself, it was planned in the 17th century by the very important architect Vincenzo Scamozzi, but the actual facade has been redone later, around the 20th century, and it has been done actually using the white marble of Zandobio. Then here we have this little nice cute fountain, which is called Fontana Contarina. It dates back to the year 1780, so it's pretty old actually. It's also white, and it's also made with white marble from Zandobio. There is around the main tub of the fountain there are many nice statues. So you have the lion, which was the typical symbol of the Republic of Venice, of course. Then you have the snakes here and two sphinx here, which also gives some water, which is actually drinkable, so you can really drink that water. It's really good. The name of the fountain Contarini comes from the Podestà Alvise Contarini, who actually gifted the town with this fountain that the inhabitants could have something useful for house use and also against any droughts period. And then we have one of the most ancient buildings on the square, which is this big one here. It's the Palazzo del Podestà. The construction of this building started in the 12th century already. You can see here some ancient parts that remained. Actually, the facade was covered with frescoes made by the very famous Bramante. And then here we have this nice staircase. There are also always some very nice flowers actually on this staircase here. It is called the Calone, so big staircase of the Lapidi gravestones. You can actually see some of them here. They were put here in the 19th century, whereas the staircase itself was made in the 15th century to connect basically the two buildings, so the Palazzo del Podestà, and you could go from there to the Palazzo della Ragione here. So these tombstones were to commemorate important people and families of the city of Bergamo and surroundings, and there are about 40 of them here. Then here we have the Palazzo della Ragione, which was built in the 12th century, but as we see it nowadays, it's really different from how it was in the past, meaning that this is nowadays the main facade as the Republic of Venice wanted, and there is also the little lion here, St. Mark's lion, so the symbol of the Republic of Venice. But actually these openings, these three arches here, were not here. They were done, so to speak, by the Republic of Venice because the main facade of the building was on the opposite side, on the Piazza del Duomo, which we're going to see later. Then you have here the statue, which is dedicated to Torquato Tasso, a very important poet who actually was born not in Bergamo but in Sorrento, so in the south of Italy, but his family was from the area of Bergamo, so that's why there is this statue here. And actually there is also a nice cafe here, this one here behind this umbrella, so to speak. And there is the Caffè del Tasso, which is also one of the most historical, ancient and really good cafes of Bergamo. It's pretty historical as well. It's part of the historical cafes and restaurants that you can find in Italy, all over Italy really. Since that it was here already in the 15th century, it also was one of the meeting point for the thousands, the famous thousands of Giuseppe Garibaldi, so they used to meet here a lot here. And I mean, nowadays it's also a really good cafe. If you want to have a good cafe, you can go there. So then practical info on the square. There are public toilets here. It's 90 cents and they're good. And then you have the Campanone here, this big tower here with the clock. It's the Campanone. Is maybe the most known, the most famous, the most loved tower of the town of Bergamo, also from the inhabitants of Bergamo. Campanone means in Italian big bell, really, so big tower for big bells basically. It's also pretty high, it's about 53 meters high. So it is possible to climb it on the inside, of course, to reach the top of it and to have a really nice view on the surrounding. It was built between the 11th and the 12th centuries, and for centuries it has been used to inform, so the bells of this tower were used to inform people, the inhabitants of Bergamo, in case there was any emergency, so in case they needed to escape like very quickly. Okay, so from here, from the political square, we can reach the more religious square here. There we go. This is the Piazza del Duomo, because of course there is the Duomo, but there is not only the Duomo, which is this one, the cathedral dedicated to Sant'Alessandro, who is the saint patron of Bergamo, but there is also this church here, there is a chapel here, and then there is a baptistry here. So it's really small square, but with a lot of historical buildings. And then there is this really nice area here. To start with, here we are on the other side of the Palazzo della Ragione, so this was where originally there was the main facade of this building. So you have to think that really not only this building here, but all the buildings that you can see around this square have been changed dramatically. To go really in the past, this was one part of the Roman Forum, which stretched so from here to there, because there under this arch, after all these arches, you'll have the Piazza Vecchia where we were before, which was occupied by at that time Roman Forum. So it was really big, and even in the Middle Ages, this area was used for trades. So there were merchants here, there were people selling their products, buying other products of other producers, many different types of products. And to remember this to us, in front of the Basilica Santa Maria Maggiore, which is this one, you can see these little things here, which seem weird really. These lines here, these here, so horizontal and vertical, these were actually measures that were used especially by merchants of clothes. These were the measures that needed to be used, so like the fixed measures that needed to be used to buy and sell these types of products especially. So these were kept here to remember these things, so it's actually really interesting. The baptistry wasn't here in the past, so it has been literally moved from another part, so this is also really interesting. This isn't a church, but it's a chapel. It's the chapel Colleoni. So this is honestly, personally, one of my favorite monuments of the town of Bergamo. It's the Cappella Colleoni, which was wanted by the captain and soldier Bartolomeo Colleoni as its mausoleum, basically. It was built in the 15th century. To build it, he had to destroy the whole sacristy of the Basilica of Santa Maria Maggiore. So as you can see, the facade is really nice. There are different marbles of different colors, amongst which has been used also the local marble. There is a nice rose window here, very nice decoration. Inside the cappella there is the funeral monument with the tomb of Colleoni. A really important thing that you have to do before leaving Bergamo is touching a symbol that is located here. You can see some gold here. I'm gonna show you a picture. So this one here, it brings you luck if you touch these ones. They seem like commas, but they are in fact testicles. And why 3? Well, because Bartolomeo Colleoni used to say that he had 3 testicles. Not true, but 3. Actually, the name of the family Colleoni comes from the word coleus, which in Latin means testicle. So actually this was not only the symbol for Bartolomeo Colleoni, but the actual symbol of the family Colleoni. This is the facade of the church of Santa Maria Maggiore, Basilica of Santa Maria Maggiore, and this is one of the entrances, because this church has actually many different entrances, and this one is called the entrance of the Red Lions, maybe because there are these two little statues of lions, which are supporting the two columns. This architectural part here is called Protiro in Italian, and it's really nice. It was also made by the famous sculptor and architect Giovanni da Campione, with different marbles of different colors. You can see different statues here as well. There are many of them. This one with the horse is Sant'Alessandro, which is the patron of the town of Bergamo. The style of the church from the outside seems very medieval. This church was done from the 12th century, was built from the 12th century, but inside is really baroque, and inside there are also very nice tapestries on the wall. Very nice, decorated with very nice scenes as well. Whereas this one here is the Duomo or Cathedral of Sant'Alessandro. So this statue here is of course Sant'Alessandro. Really nice, really white, really different style. Inside is also really nice. And it was actually planned by a very important architect, Filarete, who came from Florence. It seems that there was a church already in the 5th century, and actually if you go under the arches here, there is an entrance on this side, I think, through which you can go down and you can really see the most ancient part of the church, which is really amazing if you think about it. But the structure of the current church was started in the 14th century. The facade was done in the 19th century, and the church has a really nice dome as well, which dates also to the 19th century. So to wrap up this tour, we are going to see a nice view. I'm going to show you a really particular point of Bergamo where all my tour guides led me with my groups. So it's really nice, but you really have to know it. You have to go through this little tiny road. You arrive to this little square, and this is the so-called Palazzo Terzi Palace, which is also a very nice palace. It's a private palace, so you can't go in, but you can see from here already. You can arrive till this point here. You can see where there is a statue, and then there is a nice view down there. So you see, we were on that side here. You can arrive till there, but still from there, ta-da! You can see a nice view of the town, of the downtown really. But I'm going to wrap up this tour with another nice view. Here you can see a part of the Roman walls, one of the gates that were done also by the Republic of Venice. You can see the lion here. So yes, this is really nice. And of course we went up to the old town with the funicular, but you can actually walk up. It's a really nice walk that you can do. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you liked it, and I hope your next town that you would like to visit will be Bergamo, because it's really worth it, and it's not too far from Milan. So if you go to Milan, you can go there by train, or you can go by airplane till Bergamo, because there is a little but really good airport, Serio, Bergamo. You can do that, and it's not a big town, so you don't need more than, I'd say, a day to visit it. Of course, if you want to visit museums, there is plenty of them as well. There are good restaurants in the center and so on, so it's really worth it. So thank you so much, and if you like the video, remember to drop a like and subscribe to my channel. And yes, thank you, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.